What's up, meatheads? Coach MANdler here, Team Swole Patrol. Got another awesome video for you today. Record-setting powerlifter and the author of the brand new book, The Gift of Injury, Brian Carroll, is going to take me through a step-by-step approach to mastering the bench press for powerlifting. Now, if you watched any of my videos last week, you saw him take me through not only his big four for warming up your body and priming it to maximize for performance in the squat, and today he's going to do the same thing just for the bench press. So if you're a bench press nerd and want to learn how to maximize your performance for speed, explosiveness, and most of all, putting up some big ass bar bending weights, check out what I got lined up for you today. He picked me apart and gave me a lot to think about in regards to how you can get the most out of your bench press performance. So without further ado, let's get started on this in-depth, next level bench press tutorial.
All right, here I am with Chandler Marchman. We're going to go over the bench press a little bit, but first we're going to talk a little bit more about warm-up. By now you know about my 4-part warm-up system, which is A, break a sweat, B, McGill Big 3, C is a specialized movement of the day depending on what you're going to do. Make sure it corresponds with the movement that you start off with that day. And then D, of course, is moving the empty bar for 10, 20, 30 reps. So for the sake of the bench press, what Chandler likes to do, and I totally agree with, is doing push-ups for a C movement. So again, he's still going to break a sweat. He's still going to do the McGill 3, but instead of a goblet squat for, say, the squat, he's going to do push-ups and bust out 20, 30 of those, or however many it takes to break a sweat and get him primed for the movement that's to come. So we're going to pretend like he just finished doing a set of push-ups, and now we're going to get him under the empty bar to bench 20, 30 reps with the empty bar here to kind of grease the groove. Perfect. So we're not going to mess with his setup or his cues just yet. We're going to let him do his thing. And then as the video carries on, you're going to be able to see the little bit of changes that I had with him. So just greasing the groove a little bit. We see people all the time that bench 215 or 225 or 315, and the first thing they do is load 135 on the bar and then 225 on the bar, and they're well over 50% by then, and that's when tissue strains happen. And we all know that if you're injured, you can't lift, so that's no fun. So again, pumping out some reps, breaking a sweat, the last little part of the warm-up here, and getting them ready to load some cookies on here. Perfect. The first one is simply setting your eyes up under the bar so you're not set up too far back, not too far forward. Why is this? Number one, if you're set up too far back, you have a high likelihood of whacking the rack as you're going to lockout, which again is not going to do anyone any good. The other part is setting up too far away, where if you don't have a handoff man, you have to take the bar way out, which is dangerous on your shoulders and dangerous in a few different ways. You don't want to ever drop that bar on you. So this just minimizes the potential for disaster on the handoff. So it's very simple. So eyes under the bar. Grip is going to vary person to person. I suggest someone start their bench press grip with their natural push-up position, okay? So again, eyes are under the bar. We want to dig these feet in. So we're going to set up into a tripod. So heel is going to be out, toe is in, knees are going to spread, okay? And he's going to hover his butt where it's not in full contact with the bench, but it's still in contact with the bench. This helps gain leverage, okay? So that's point number 2, set up into a tripod. Point number 3 is a nice handoff and lowering the bar down to the sternum, approximately. Now to initiate leg drive for point number 4 is very simple. All we're going to do is start with the toe grip here on the floor, which turns into heel drive that comes through the legs, up through the arms, and back. So your whole body's going to actually push back. So we're going to use that in drive. So again, show me some leg drive. Good. See that leg drive there? It helps that he's hypermobile and has really good muscle control, but you can see the leg drive there. Again, you might have to change the position of the feet and the legs here and there, but this is a very nice drive here. So again, coming down to the sternum approximately, you're going to drive back. The 5th point is not pushing the bar too far. Now make sure you keep the scapula retracted. So again, you're going to come down and stick the lockout right there. Now demonstrate for the camera pushing the bar too far by letting the scapula unfurl and having a further lockout. See how much further you can press the bar? Now retract for me. See that difference? That's still a totally locked out and legal bench press. Thanks, Shane. Alright, now that we've been through the warm-up, we're ready to go. But first thing, we're going to talk about the two different types of setups that are most common. The first is what you probably see most often, that's a tuck setup. If you demonstrate that for me real quick, Chandler. That's with the feet really behind you, tucked back. And this requires a lot of thoracic mobility. It's pretty tough on the lumbar spine. It's also tough on the hips too. So this is a really good setup to have if you want a really big arch. But there are cons to this. You're not going to get as much leg drive this way, even though you are shortening the bar path a little bit. So here's the way I teach it in most cases. And of course, me with my back history, and many of you that may be extension intolerant. And extension is the opposite of flexion. Flexion is bending forward. Extension is that exact motion that he was showing there in the arch. So with that said, I teach it with the feet out. We can actually turn the bench into almost a standing bench press. So what I want you to do is set up with your eyes right into the bar, Chandler.
All right.
So instead of tucking the feet, we're going to have them out a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the feet out a little bit there. And again here, out. And toes are going to come in, heels are out. Okay, now I want you to grip on the bar. Now I want you to slide where your eyes are directly on the bar, so slide out and keep your feet. There you go. Now get your hips up and arch. Right there. So you want your butt in contact with the bench, but barely in contact. What does this do? It creates leverage and it turns the body into a full body bench press versus just an upper body movement, which years and years we've been taught it's an upper body movement. No, it's not. It's a full body movement. So this helps in a few different ways. Not only does it help you lift more weight and do so safely, it also creates stability here. So when the legs are tucked tucked back like that, a lot of the times, you're not going to have the stability that you have here. Now that your feet are out in front and locked in, you're going to have stability. You're going to be able to utilize these legs that are out here in front for a lot more readily available leg drive. So what I want you to do is bring the bar out. So again, break the bar. So hips are up, but his butt is still in contact with the bench. That is key. So I want him to bend the bar and retract the shoulder blades. See how the stroke is shortened there? We're going to lower the bar to about the sternum. And to initiate this bar drive, you want to drive your heels through the floor. Good. Again. And the bigger arch you have, the more you're going to come low and come back higher. So I want you to drive back over your face a little bit. Good. But I want you to get up. I want you to drive. I want to see this lower body move as we're doing this movement. So come in and drive. See that leg drive there? It's so much more apparent than it is with the tuck setup. So again, one more. And rack. Okay, so you've seen a little bit about what we went over today. And I want to hammer home a couple things to you. One is this product in this book that Dr. Stuart McGill and I put together isn't just for the power lifter. It's not just for the CrossFitter or the Olympic lifter or the bodybuilder or the power builder. It's for everyone that wants to remain injury-free. Worst case scenario, you are getting this book because you are injured. Of course, this book will guide you and give you a way of not just sharing the story and what I went through, but how to customize it for your needs and get yourself back to resilient performance. So of course it's for the strength athlete, but just think of this. If I can return from a crushed sacrum and a broken L5, no disc existing between L4, L5, L5S1, and return back to squatting over 1,100 pounds, all the more reason why the average gym goer that wants to be healthy, wants to lift weights, wants to look good, or just simply the mom that lifts on the weekends, the weekend warrior that wants to pick up their kid pain-free, you can do it. Back injury is not a life sentence. So the cues that we went over today, these are to help you avoid the mistakes that I've made, help you lift more weight, and help you do so pain-free. What do you think, Chandler?
And I can't hammer that home enough, because right now with what I'm personally going through, the 30-day challenge, it's kind of geared more or less towards aesthetics 100%, but with the uptick in volume and intensity, it's becoming more and more important for me to focus on the quality of every single rep, every single movement. And everything you go through in this book has been so pivotal in the quality of every one of those movements. And without that, I would be injured at this point.
Yeah.
So I can't stress to you enough the importance of the quality of movements, body mechanics, and overall just how this helps just the quality of your lifting, the quality of your health, and ultimately because of that, the quality of your life. So can't thank you enough, dude. Thank you so much for putting me through everything.
Yeah.
And most importantly, thank you for being a quality coach that shares the just expert advice that you give on the quality of lifting in life.
Availability supersedes ability. If Chandler's injured and hurt, doesn't matter what he tries to do during this last 30 days where he's trying to get in incredible shape. Availability supersedes ability. You have to be available to achieve your goals. If you're hurt, it doesn't matter.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. Couple take-home points for you. Number one, when it comes to the bench press, if you're not a power lifter, I'll always tell you, regardless of what Brian might say, it's all about comfort in regards to where you place your feet. I personally feel more comfortable where most people don't, and that is with my toes driven in with a high arch. It doesn't give me as much hip drive as Brian discussed with you, but it's also something that I learned early on and I can handle because of my hypermobility. If that doesn't work for you, then stick with what does. The other things I want to talk about that are very valuable points. Number one, the importance of keeping your levers aligned, so keeping those joints stacked. With the bench press, that obviously means keeping everything in your wrist and your elbows nice and cocked. And two is going to be the importance of keeping your core nice and tight. That means retracting and depressing those scapula, those shoulder blades, so that you pack those lats down to help you better stabilize the weight, so that the primary movers, the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps can do their work. And two, pulling a deep breath into your belly, that deep diaphragmatic breath that will allow you to not only maintain that stiffness and that rigidity in your core and better insulate your spine, but also lower or lessen the distance that the bar has to travel, thus making it a more efficient lift. And when it comes to powerlifting, that's all it's about. You want to maximize the amount of force you transfer from your body into the bar, and you want to minimize the distance that the bar has to travel, making it a more efficient lift. It's not about growth, it's all about how much weight you can put up. That's the name of the game in powerlifting. So all you bodybuilders out there, don't give me the range of motion crap, because that's not what this is about. It's all about how much weight you can take from here to up here at lockout. Hey dude, before you bounce, do me a solid. Let me know you enjoyed this video by hitting the like button. Subscribe so you never miss out on any of the kick-ass tips and routines that I'm going to be hooking you up with here in the future. And if you're looking to build that more jacked, ripped, strong, explosive, athletic physique that allows you to both look like and perform like an absolute savage, then make sure to grab your free week's worth of performance bodybuilding workouts that I put together for you by clicking on that image right over there. Appreciate your time, guys. Have a good one. MANdler out.